Shalom, shalom, shalom. Starting off, giving all praises, honor, and glory. It goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shad, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shad, Barakatham, to the hopeful elect, Shalom, shalom. It's the brother Taziar Banyamir from the GMS Kansas City Church. And today's video is entitled, I'm not talking NFL when I say draft day is coming. All right? No NFL, but draft day is coming. And the draft that I speak of is the draft that takes, specifically you American men, and you all get dragged to the Valley of Jehoshaphat to fight in this World War III, which is heating up. We obviously waiting on the implementation of the MOTB, but, prophecy is brewing on multiple fronts, with the Israel and Iran conflict being escalated over this weekend. Us as the prophets, we seeing the full picture, because Israel necessarily don't have the military capabilities, to fight a head-on war against Iran. Iran is just such a big monster. So they will reach out to United States for their help, and the United States will respond. All right? And a lot of you people, you already hate this fucking government. You just had the No Kings protests. A lot of people are going to refuse the draft. Therefore, they will enforce the draft. All right? And you will have no choice but to fight, man. And the scriptures speak on that. But I wanted to get this. When was the last draft in the United States? Say the last draft in the United States was in 1973 during the Vietnam War. United States transitioned to an all-volunteer military force that year. So before that, that's when they were doing it. So let's get the context. All right. All right, it says the military draft during the Vietnam War. The military draft brought the war to the American home front during the Vietnam War era. Between 1964 and 1973, United States drafted 2.2 million American men out of an eligible pool of 27 million. Although only 25% of the military force in the combat zones were draftees, the system of conscription, which is the draft, caused many young American men to volunteer for the armed forces in order to have more of a choice of which division in the military they would serve. So, yeah, this Vietnam War, 50 years ago, they only got 2.2 million, which that was a minor conflict, but now this is World War, this is World War. So let's look up how many were drafted in World War II. It says during World War II, hold on one second. All right. On September 16, 1940, United States instituted the Selective Training and Service Act of 1940, which required all men between the ages of 21 and 45 to register for the draft. Which they gonna bring them policies back, man. It say, and now they're gonna lower the age to 18. You know, you can join the military in 18. It say this was the first peacetime draft in United States history. Those who were selected from the draft lottery were required to serve at least 1 year in the armed forces. And you see, they did this before the United States entered into the war. It said once the United States entered World War II, draft terms extended through the duration of the fighting. By the end of the war in 1945, 50 million men between the age 18 and 45 had registered for the draft, and 10 million had been inducted in the military. You see? So listen, man, all you fucking TikTok, you TikTok niggas, you Instagram niggas, you YNs, you know, you fucking white boys with these goofy ass haircuts. All right, y'all are going to go. And brothers in the truth, if they try to draft you, man, hey man, you better jump out the window like fucking Jason Bourne. All right, because we believe that the elect not gonna get drafted. You know, we believe that the elect, you know, the true believers in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you know, we're gonna be able to maneuver around these things and escape those things, you know. So we not too worried. But when we speak of times like this, we speaking of you dumbass Americans, man. All right, you dumbass Americans are about to go, man. Let me get this. 2nd Ezra 16:31. Even in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay, so this is speaking of the draft, man, which is gonna leave a excess of women, man. All right, so you know this also sets up the formula for Isaiah 4:1. You know, Isaiah 4:1, that's already formulated now just by the population numbers. But once you consider the fact that these men are going to get drafted, then, you know, the ratio between men and women is going to jump exponentially, man. That's why through the spirit, hey, I ain't been up there, you know, trying to build up a roster. You know, I'm not dissing brothers who you know, who got a starting 5 rotation. You know, that's no diss to brothers who got a starting 5 rotation, but end of the day, it's gonna be light to build up a team, if you know what I'm saying, man. Because all these women are gonna be fucking lost due to the loss of men, man. You know, so for you brothers who got women, hey, these bitches better learn to share. All right, it ain't gonna be my man, you know, my man. It's gonna be our man. And you bitches better do whatever you can to stay in the good graces of your man, especially if he's a man of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. And y'all gonna learn that the hard way. You know, anybody that's out of order, anybody that's you know, not that are not obeying the team rules. You know, if you ain't obeying the team rules, we gonna tell your ass to skedaddle. You know, Peanut Live 205, fucking daddle. All right, because you gonna need men, cause all these weak ass, soft ass niggas, they going to war, man. All right, everybody want to have a spring break at the beach. Well, y'all gonna be at the beach in fucking Tel Aviv, you know, trying to defend these small hats, and them small hats, they ain't gonna be there to help you, nigga. The small hats are gonna run to the bunkers, and they gonna let you fucking Americans get put in the meat grinder, man. Let me read that again. 2nd Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish with famine. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Right? Y'all are hearing it now through these videos, and we have that understanding that we can see this scripture about to come to pass. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, man. All right. I'm going to drop down to verse 40. It says, O ye my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and those evils even be as pilgrims upon earth. Right. You got to be a pilgrim because, for one, they're going to have the MOTB instituted. And for two, they're going to have that forced draft, man. So like I say, we're going to have to be in a position where we got to move around, man. And if they come in there trying to draft, and when I said earlier, if they try to draft you, got to you got to do a fucking Jason Bourne and jump out the window. That's if the spirit allows, you know, because sometimes the spirit may not allow you to escape, man. But if you refuse to get C-hip, you refuse to get drafted, we can see them putting you in a concentration camp, man. But even in all things, you got to be faithful, man. But understand that we have no certain dwelling place. All right. I remember the brother Nathaniel Allah from the Netherlands. You know, if this brother happened to watch this video, Shalom, I got to reach out to that brother and say Shalom personally. But he said, you know, really, we don't have a home. We just have a dwelling. All right. So our dwelling is going to change. You may dwell in an apartment now. Then when shit crack off, you gotta run into a fucking Edomite mansion and kick it there, and then you gotta run to a fucking shack, you know, kick it there. Then you might run into a fucking RV and kick it there. So, you know, we gotta be prepared to be as water, man, because this devil is coming down with great wrath. But I'll leave it at that. You know, time to go pick some cotton at the plantation. Lord willing, this video edifying. All praises, honor, and glory, it goes to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom.